Yes, I want to give you a small story. Story of what I met after completing my fourth year. This is something which was very crucial in my journey after finishing my fourth year, as I was stepping into outside world where I was going to meet the reality. As I was looking for my attachment, I found attachment with one of the government institutions where I was attached. So, because it was a period of attachment, most of the institutions were full. So, the institution where I went, the department which was relevant to the course which I did had been already filled up with my colleagues. So, I was taken to another department, and when my supervisor took me there, one of the managers told me, you are a quack here, because the course I did and the department which I was going to work, or the office where where I was going to be attacked, was completely irrelevant. But my supervisor was able to convince the manager that whatever I was going to do there is relevant, because the course which I did was more of dynamic. So I was allowed to sit in that office, and I was there. After 2 days, the head of the department gave me an assignment, and assignment was to take some few days. Even me, I hate that office, because when I entered the office, the first thing I was told I was a quack. I didn't like that word. So I started doing the assignment which I was given by the head of department. Then after a few days, my supervisor called me and told me that he has found a space in the office which was a little bit more relevant to the course which I did. So with the following morning, I did not go back to that office where I was called quack. I went to the office which was a bit more relevant. So I sat there for 2-3 days. Then the head of department called me. The head of the department of the previous office called me and asked me, hey, where are you? And I told him, no, my supervisor took me to another office, so I did not report there. And then he called me, ran to my office immediately. When I went there, he told me to sit down, and he asked me a question which I was not able to answer. He told me, what percentage are you going to apply whatever you learn in school? I did not answer that. And when he saw me hesitating, he told me, you don't need to answer that, but I will tell you, because I've been here for the last 30 years. And this is what the guy told me. He said, whatever you learn in school, you will apply only 20% of the work you're going to do here. Most of the work you're going to do here is communication. How you're going to prosper, how you're going to move from one position to another, how you're going to be promoted is going to depend on how you're going to communicate. And I asked him how. He told me that whatever you learned in class is going to remain in class. You're going to apply a very little knowledge here. The reason why I was bringing this small story is about communication. Communication forms a very important role in our lives. Without communication, we are nobodies. Many families are breaking because of the communication. Many children, many candidates and pupils in schools are failing because of communication. Many things have happened because of communication. And when I say many things, I mean wrong things. Communication forms a very important role in the lives of humans. Anything that is done in this world depends on communication. When you are a pilot, the instructions which you are given they are in form of communication. Anything that you do is given in form of communication. When you see work today, the people who go to the office, the first thing they do is to open their mails. They want to see the forms of communication, the instructions which they have been given in form of communication. So the communication form a very important role in the life of in our lives today. Whatever you do is communication. When you want to have a healthy relationship with your brothers, with your sister, with your mother, with your father, even with your wife, it is communication. The relationship between parents and children is not a good one in some areas, or in some cases. Why? Because there's a very limited communication between parent and children. Children think their parent as monsters, and parents think of their children as children, people you should not give your mind. But that's the moment where things start to go wrong. The moment we stop communication, the moment you get into the house and the next thing you can do is to go to bed, the next thing you can do is to concentrate on your thing. Your children will not have that time to communicate with you. That's the moment when things start to fall. So the main important thing, or the main basis of our success in everything that we're going to do, be it studies, be it family, be it job, be it driving, everything is going to depend on how we communicate. Even the people who are disabled, these people who cannot speak, there's someone who invented a way of communicating with them, because this someone realized the importance of communication in our life. And in universities, in primary schools, and everywhere, communication is taught because they know the importance of communication. I urge our people, especially people who are at the levels where the communication should be applied. For example, in primary schools and in secondary school, communication should be paramount, because I was once this victim of who was failing in his papers, in exam, every time, every now and then, because of lack of communication. Nobody ever asked me what was happening to me. Nobody ever asked me what was wrong. Nobody ever asked me why is this happening, this and this. Before we even cane children in school, before we put them to a very severe punishment, before we go and do something which is unimaginable, let's ask these people, why is this happening, this and this, and let's come up with ways through which we can solve problems through communication. Communication is a very important tool in our daily lives.